Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I wish to speak about PCOD and just to help you know what exactly your condition is so that you can connect the dots for yourself and see where you're going wrong. But before you watch this video, I highly encourage that you watch the last video on hormones, and it will just help you in understanding what I'm about to speak here in a much better way, okay? Now, just speaking about PCOS, a lot of people would say, oh, acne and fertility and just not getting periods and weight gain and all of these things. Of course, these symptoms are important and we can't overlook this, but it's not just about a few acne and facial hair issues. PCOD is much more worse if you don't manage it well, because PCOD is just not PCOD or PCOS. It also is of 5 types, which we will get on to maybe in future. But as of now, you just need to understand the basics of it. And when I say basics, so even the name is incorrect, okay? So it's like slightly incorrect. So polycystic ovarian syndrome, okay? Disease is different, disorders are different, and a syndrome is different. Syndrome means a collection of symptoms, and symptoms could be anything. But before we get into symptoms, you need to understand that as soon as we hear the word cyst, it's like, oh, it's cancerous, or it's a tumor, or I'm going to die, something like that. But it's not really that bad. It can eventually get that bad, absolutely 100% yes, but it's not that bad. So when we speak about cyst, what exactly is this cyst? So it's like we have follicular phase, we have ovulatory phase, we have luteal phase, we have menstrual phase, okay? So with basically PCOS, what happens is there is a follicular arrest, okay? No ovulation, therefore a lot of times you would not experience periods or menstruation every month because the ovulation is not taking place, right? So there is nothing to shed out every single month or every 28 to 35 days. Now what happens is, so follicles are basically eggs released by the ovaries. What happens is these baby eggs would just stick to the ovaries, and they would just start clumping together because they've been arrested and they don't have enough of the luteinizing hormone for them to be able to go to another stage. What happens is they're just going to be stuck there, like small things. So when you get a test done and when you get the sonography done, you would see it, but it looks like a cyst, but it's nothing but clumped together follicles that are just like baby eggs. So it should be actually follicular ovarian syndrome, because it's nothing but follicles which can look like a clump or a cyst on the sonography, but it's actually not that bad, okay? And it's easily reversible, it's easily curable, you can easily fix it given that you are disciplined enough and you manage your lifestyle and eating habits well. So when we speak about PCOS, it's a dance of hormones, and this is a place where the dancing goes off. So it's like a stage and the hormones are performing and everyone is falling and no one knows what this person has to do, what this hormone has to do, what this hormone has to do, and everything goes off. So it's like a beautiful dance on stage that has just gone off, and the stage being your body, okay? So your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, your cortisol, insulin, it's all related. You can't just speak about PCOS and say, oh, it's just estrogen and it's just progesterone. That is the reason why the medicines doesn't work, right? Because medicine is like, so understand, medicine is like the commander who would just come and start yelling at all the hormones and saying, dance well, dance well, dance well, dance well. But the thing is, I don't know how to dance, so you need to teach me how to dance. This is what the hormone replies back. So the pill is just coming and just just commanding you to do something, but your body says, no, but let me give me the basics of it, give me the basics so that I can perform, right? So that is why oral contraceptive pills don't work. That is why so many medicines that is just so easily available and prescribed by a doctor. Not that the doctor is doing something wrong by prescribing the medication, because you have a condition and you go to them and they do what they know in the best of their capacity, and they do it to protect you, to save you, to heal you, and to make your skin clearer, because you are desperate to get the skin clearer very quickly, and to get your hair in check, to get your weight loss and weight gain in check. So doctor is doing the very correct thing, but you can't lead the same lifestyle that brought upon the PCOS and then you can just think that I'm going to take a pill and it's going to be okay. You show me one, I am yet to see one girl who has gone through PCOD and who has just taken a pill and she has been off the pill and her periods are okay. And sometimes the symptoms show up, say 5, 6, 7 years down the line. I have girls who took oral contraceptive pills when they were 18, 19, 20. They are 30, 34, 35 right now. And when we look into their medical history, we do find some, nicks and cuts that's not correct and not in a right order. Okay, now just speaking about this, you have to understand a lot of things, and your Google and everything would say we don't know why PCOD is caused. Okay, we don't know PCOD क्यों होता है. There is a medicine, you take it, but how do you prescribe a medicine for something that you don't even have a cause for? So it's very important to understand what is going wrong at the basics of this. So first things first, you cannot overlook insulin and insulin resistance. That would be my number one hormone that cannot be overlooked upon. And my number two would be your testosterone. So when I speak about testosterone, it's, you know, the androgen hormones, the male hormones that a female body would also need, but in very, very suboptimal quantities. Okay, so your testosterone, your DHT, your DHEA, your DHEAS, that's your dehydroepiandrosterone S, and all of these hormones, sulfate. You need these hormones. Okay, you need it for immunity, you need it for libido, you need it for your sexual health, you need it for muscle mass, you need it for your bone health, joint health, everything. You need it, but in minute quantities and not in excessive quantities. So hormonal imbalances, let's say you need this much of hormone, and now there is a spike or surge in this one, and this excess is just creating issue inside your body. So let's just say, in a very layman term, my body needs 10 ml of testosterone, but I now have 50 ml of testosterone. So what is this 40 ml going to do? Because my body does not need it, so it is going to go and start doing things that it's not supposed to do. So it can go and arrest the hair follicles. So it will make your hair condition very, very poor. It can make your skin condition very poor. It can go to the fat cells and command the fat cells to store fat. So you can gain fat. It can also do vice versa. Okay, it can also hinder the conversion of androgens to estrogen. So there is an enzyme that you need, that is your aromatase cytochrome P450. Don't get into names, but you need this enzyme for the conversion of androgens into estrogen. Now estrogen is a very powerful hormone, and for ovulation to take place, when the estrogen is at its peak, you need this hormone. Okay, but if this conversion is not taking place, what do you have? You need estrogen, but the conversion is not taking place. So now the androgens and testosterone level is really, really high, and that is why it creates issues. So your facial hair, the coarse hair, and just, you know, sometimes people also have this acanthosis, something. There is this condition where you will have darkening of the skin, especially on your neck, and it just speaks volumes about that there is so much of hormonal disturbance. Okay, so you cannot overlook this symptom as well. Your cancer, type 2 diabetes, infertility, miscarriage, not being able to hold a baby, just having no periods for 2 months, 3 months, adenomyosis, endometriosis, uterine cancers, breast cancers, issue with your breast and everything. It has everything to do with PCOD, because PCOD or PCOS has everything to do with the hormones. So you cannot overlook this. Now when I speak about insulin, you need to understand, I've already spoken about insulin, but just very quickly, what happens is you eat something, the blood sugar spikes, the body likes to maintain it between 80 to 100. As soon as it goes to 120, 30, 40, 50, your body is going to try and bring it down. How does it bring it down? By producing the hormone insulin that is produced by the pancreas. Okay, so you also cannot overlook the health of your pancreas. So your insulin, it comes, it lowers and balances the blood sugar levels, and that's great. But if you are eating every 2 hours, if you're having your fruit juices, if you're eating refined carbs, if you're eating junk food, if you're eating all throughout the day, you're snacking and meeting meals and eating 6 meals in a day, your insulin is chronically high. When your insulin is chronically high, it can damage the cells, and when it can damage the cells are going to do something to protect you, to protect itself. So they become resistant to it. So the body is producing insulin, but the cells are resistant. They're no longer listening to it. And how does your insulin balances the blood sugar levels? It can put the glucose in your fat cells, in your muscle cells, in your nerve cells, in your liver in the form of glycogen. So that is all great. But if the cells are resistant, the insulin levels are going to be chronically high. Now what is so wrong with insulin? When insulin is chronically high, it is directly proportional to your testosterone. Your insulin is high, your testosterone is high, conversion of testosterone to estrogen is not taking place, and you have PCOD, and you have these all plethora of symptoms, and you think, no, what's wrong? And it's not just insulin, it's not just testosterone. There could be ovarian dysfunction, you could have endocrine disruptors. So the way we lead our lifestyles, the makeup that we wear, and all of the toxins and chemicals that we have around, you know, your plastic, the refined food, artificial sweeteners, preservatives, BHT, that's butyl hydroxytoluene. It's one of the most horrible things you can consume, and it's just used as a preservative in so many of the foods and breads and baking and vegan and organic foods that you don't possibly see it on the ingredient label as well. There is something known as transglutaminase. You don't see it on the labels, but it is used to kind of, you know, make the blends fluffier and more palatable, and it will just, you know, it's also used in place of yeast, TGA. And it's just a foreign substance, okay? It's synthetic. Your body does not know what to do with it. Your body does not know how to deal with it. So that can create an issue. There can be environmental toxins. There can be stress. Of course, chronically high levels of cortisol can throw your body off. Like, I would think cortisol, insulin, you cannot overlook this. And even with insulin, it's under your control because you cannot eat 6 meals in a day and you can manage that. But with your cortisol, your emotions, if that is not checked, and if you do not have any way to make sure that you're feeling healthy and great and happy and stable emotionally well, you are always going to have issues with your hormones, your periods, your fertility, in the way you carry a baby, and just everything. It's going to create a problem. So you also need to make sure that your cortisol levels are balanced, okay? Now, just speaking about insulin and testosterone, so what exactly is this oral contraceptive pill doing, and how exactly does it help you in not having acne and all of these things, and sometimes even weight loss? So what happens is, think of oral contraceptive pill like a sponge, okay? And the testosterone is just floating in the blood. It's too high. It's going to go and absorb the excess, and when the excess is absorbed, you're going to feel that you're getting better. But the minute you stop it, it's going to be elevated again, because in the very first place you did not do anything to bring down the testosterone, to bring down the androgens, okay? Now your body can naturally do it. Look at the beauty and intelligence of human body. Liver produces something known as sex hormone binding globulin, that's your SHBG. Now think of it as a car. This car comes inside, it's like floating in your blood, and it will say, testosterone, come inside, hop in, jump in, hop in, because it is in excess and it's probably not needed. So it will, you know, keep it docked there, and it would not let it go to the hair follicles and disrupt the hair, go to the skin and disrupt the skin, go to the ovaries and disrupt the ovaries. So it just, you know, keeps it together. But if SHBG levels are low, your testosterone is going to be high, because there is no one asking for the testosterone to hop in. So testosterone is now its own, and it can create a havoc because it is in excess. You needed 10 and now you have 50. So that is why you have to go to a pill, and that is why a pill can also work. But believe me, it has been scientifically proven. If you are taking a pill for more than 7 years, and if it just, like, you know, it just changes the gut microbiome, it changes who you are, it just entirely throws your body off. It's detrimental. Take it. Your doctor has given it to you. Ask for its side effects. You already experienced the side effects, so just feeling emotional, having hot flashes, anxiety, depression, feeling like crying, feeling lethargic, not having the energy, PMS, cramps, bloating, indigestion, constipation. Do you think it's not connected? It's so beautifully connected. Every function inside the body, every hormone, they work in synergy. The food that you eat, it works in synergy. The way you live, the way you breathe has to work in synergy with nature. This is the reason why we have so much of hormonal imbalance. This is the reason why every single day there is two person who would fill a form and say, I have PCOD, I have PCOD, I have PCOD. It's not normal to have PCOD, and your poor lifestyle can bring it upon. Of course, genetics also has a role to play, but there is also something known as epigenetics, okay? The genes have to be upregulated or downregulated, and when you can activate something, you can also stop it with the way you live. And that is why lifestyle and food is so important. So managing your insulin, managing your blood sugar levels, not eating throughout the day, not snacking, can help with PCOD. Living in synergy with nature, sleeping correctly, waking up correctly, giving your body the rest that it needs to balance the hormones. Look at the video of sleep and inflammation. You will understand a lot of things about it. It's actually going to help you in balancing and making sure that the PCOD is correct. Sometimes the PCOD can accompanied with a lot of pain, you know, so it could be in the right ovary or left ovary. So if you have it on the right side, it usually means that the follicles or the cyst is apparently on the right side. If it's on the left side, it means that all of the disorders and function is going on the other side of the ovary. It is same with the face. So if you get acne in your say jaw area or chin area, it's usually hormonal acne or cystic acne. So when it's hormonal, it's coming from your androgens, because you know the testosterone is floating, there is no one to command it and stop it and convert it into estrogen. So again, when it comes to the conversion of testosterone or androgens to estrogen, you need an enzyme known as aromatase cytochrome P450. Now this enzyme, the potency of this enzyme can be brought down. How? By eating not correctly. So if you are eating a lot of inorganic vegetables, which is filled with pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, glyphosate, it can actually hinder the enzyme to function, and it can stop the conversion of androgens to estrogen. So that is again something that you cannot overlook upon. But believe me, if I have to give you, again as always, if I have to give you my top 3 tips: don't eat 6 meals in a day, don't eat when you are not hungry, so it's like connected together. Sleep on time. You can't sleep at 2, you can't sleep at 4, you can't sleep for 12 hours in a day and say I have been sleeping. You need to sleep before midnight for the hormone balancing to take place, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, getting in sunlight, getting in optimum nutrition. So like deficiencies like zinc, selenium, not having enough B factor. So if you remember in the last video, I said for the insulin and thyroid hormone, you need cofactors. Okay, it's not a sex hormone, you need the cofactors. So the cofactors are your zinc and selenium and everything. So if you're just eating lean protein and low fat yogurt and low fat things, how does the hormone functioning take place? How does the production of hormones take place? So if you're eating low fat Greek yogurts, low fat food, oil free food, if you're yo-yoing with diets, if you're excessively killing yourself in the gym to lose weight, it's not going to happen. Because when you put stress on the body, the cortisol increases. When the cortisol increases, there is going to be hormonal imbalance, because if your body has to choose between estrogen, progesterone, testosterone and cortisol, and kya banana hai, kiska production karna hai, the body is always going to choose cortisol, because it can save your life, it can help you survive, and your body wants you to live and survive. So it is already doing things in your favor, but it just looks bad on the outside because you have done something wrong and you were not born with it. Okay, when in a lot of cases you started menstruating well and then these diseases and disorders came in. So weight loss, weight gain, hirsutism, a lot of facial hair, a lot of emotional issues. You have to go back and see what went wrong in my life that brought upon this thing, that brought upon this condition. And then you need to sit down and then you need to fix that root cause. Okay, you can't treat my right hand when the wound is in the left hand. You can't treat a fever which is caused by an infection. You need to treat the infection. In this case, taking a pill, take it if it is prescribed, don't get off it, but do something to get off it. Do something parallelly with your lifestyle to get off it eventually, and don't be dependent on it, because believe me, you can get off it. It's very doable, it's very easy, we do it all the time, and you can do it too by just keeping very basic things in mind, and that is living in synergy with nature, living the way we are supposed to live, eating the way we were supposed to eat. So of course, what will spike your insulin the highest? It's going to be refined carbs and refined sugar. Of course, protein is also going to have a minute amount of effect, but that's needed. That would be needed. I'm speaking about something who are just eating like pizzas and burgers and fries and colas and drinks. So your edited drinks and everything, it's such bullshit, it's such a crap. Your zero sugar and diet and all of these things that is available in the market, it's pathetic, it's detrimental, and I don't recommend it. So just look into these things, and maybe I'm going to do another Q&A video when it comes to PCOD. So maybe I'll just put up a story today or tomorrow and we can look into the questions, and maybe I can see if I can help you just sitting here. Okay.